My name is Mike Hyel, and you're tuned into the Wild Woman Show. I hope that you know you're at the Wild Woman Show. Hello. Alright, so this episode, just a forewarning, I'm going to be talking about my experiences with assault, child abuse, trauma, the various Western definitions and words that have been created to define these things, and the reason why I'm not pressed to be officially diagnosed or to turn to Western medicine in order to heal these things, and why I have not only come to the conclusion before this process, but during this process, actually experienced the peace and the freedom of healing some of these things, starting to heal, because it's going to be a lifetime thing, and how beneficial it's been to do the self-work by myself, honestly, without anybody else telling me how to go about doing it. So just a warning, this is your warning. It's gonna get heavy, it's gonna get deep. Like, this is not a cute episode. This is definitely this is my life story. Not looking for pity, just looking to give you guys some clarity on who it is that you're dealing with, the layers that are beneath the surface, and how that impacts my everyday life, and how that has impacted my experience with surrendering to the process of being homeless. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. My name is Mike Hyel. Anybody who has done research or is a theologist, you may already know this, but it is the biblical pronunciation of the Archangel Michael. When I was born, my parents were expecting a boy, and they had Michael prepared. And upon asking, "How is he?" the doctor responded, "She is fine." So, after going without a name, kinda, sorta, for a little bit, my parents, I think my dad, surprisingly enough, my dad talked with my godmom, who was a pastor at the time, and other people in the Christian community, and they were able to give him the biblical pronunciation of Michael, and then he changed the spelling. Him and my mom changed the spelling so that it would be a little bit more feminine, rather than the masculine Ichael. So yeah, that's how I got my name. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I am a Libra. So those are just two things about me, like, on paper, that for me kind of solidify the spirituality of who I am, the reason I am who I am, the way that I am, and what my purpose is here on this planet Earth, which is to be part of the group of people that are restoring balance, that are maintaining it, that know what it looks like, that knows how to accept, respect, and integrate the darkest parts of themselves, to be able to fully embrace and allow light to shine without burning up the shadow, because you have to have both. You have to have night and day. That's like literally, that's how nature works. That's how everything in nature works. Everything eats something, everything is eaten by something. Whether it's another animal, another insect, or fungus. Like, everything got to die, and everything has to live. So I really truly feel, and I've come to the perspective that my spirit, I knew exactly what I was signing up for when I came down to this planet this time around. Because of that perspective, it allows me a certain not ease, but well, it is there is a certain kind of ease. So it allows me a certain kind of ease in as I experience things. It's a lot, it's becoming more quicker. It's becoming easier, quicker for me to go through my emotions, to allow myself to feel whatever it is that this body feels for what it is that I'm experiencing, good or bad, and then get to the part where I logically and spiritually understand that this is part of the plan. This is part of the process. This is what I signed up for. I knew that this was going to happen. I knew that some of these things that I've experienced were going to be part of my story. And I chose this because I knew that I would be strong enough in mind, in spirit, in heart, and body. Okay, so just keep that in mind as I tell you guys these things. And also, like, I don't want you to be upset, because there are so many people with these stories, and I'm not justifying and saying that any of this stuff is right. I'm just saying the way that I have come to a place of peace with my life story is having this perspective. And that's what keeps me sane most days, is the understanding that everything is spiritual. And if everything is spiritual and I am a spirit first, then that means that my spirit knew what it had to endure in order to be A, prepared for the work that I have on this planet, and B, be prepared to do the work. Like, be prepared for what it encompasses, what it's going to expect of me, and then be prepared to actually carry out what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, so woosah. I'ma just woosah. Reasons why I am not pressed to be diagnosed or get a long-term therapist as of right now. The number one reason is my experiences with psychologists and psychiatrists over the last few years. Let's go back to, I told y'all about like all the CPTSD. I kind of blanketed what the trauma is, because I don't necessarily think y'all need to know all of that. But just like, if you have had childhood traumas back to back, and various types of personalities, then you understand what it is what it means and what it is when I say that is my reality. I don't, even though I understand why we need those definitions and things to identify what the problem is and how to fix it, I'm not pressed about those definitions, because I see everything as a spiritual path. I've been prepared for what is ahead of me, and what I have been experiencing this last year. So, like, there are two main reasons. The first one is when I went into the psychiatric hospital, when I tried to commit unaliving myself in 2022, and they were asking me like, what's wrong and how did you get here? And I was basically like, I'm too smart, I'm a black woman, can you change my skin color, can you change I forget what I said exactly, but I was basically like, can y'all change like basically what it means for me to be a black woman in America? Can you change the constant punishment it is to wake up every single day and have to go out into this world? If you can't change that, then that's why I'm here. I'm here because I understand what capitalism is, how it works. I understand that there's no reason while we are paying for food. I understand that the only reason why we are paying for food is because the government made it illegal to forage, and you have to literally get permission. They made it illegal to plant female trees that produce the free fruits and vegetables that the Creator gave us so that they could profit off of our ignorance. They made it so that you had to have special licenses to farm, and if you're in certain places in the country, you can't have a garden in your backyard. So if you can change all of this, if you can change the fact that I'm literally not making enough, no matter how many hours I work, no matter how many jobs I get, to be able to have a sustainable life, then what are we doing? So I had to repeat that when I got there, and then like when I had my second interview to leave. And literally the second time when I did it, there was a psychiatrist, and after it was a lot longer when I was saying it, but her response was, and this was a white lady, and she was definitely from England. Her response was, well, I think you should be medicated. I was like, all of the issues that I've given you give you no indication that I should be medicated. And for that to be your conclusion, that tells me everything I need to know, you know? So that pissed me off. And then like to go get outpatient help that they say they have. Once I got there and I actually had conversations with everybody, they had to be honest about the fact they didn't even have psychologists for you to have one-on-one sessions. And they would only be available anyway if my insurance would cover it. I had just turned 25, so I was officially off of my mom's insurance. So it was like all of these things. And because I am constantly educating myself on the laws that are in place that have this world operating the way that it does, that has always been my biggest thing. It's not that anything is wrong with me. It's that I am knowledgeable in a world, in a country where majority of the people here are not knowledgeable. And because I'm knowledgeable, I am a threat to the systems that are in place. And the only solution that everybody has for me is, oh, you should be medicated. You should be put on something that stops you from thinking about all of this stuff. And I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. The second reason is because my previous landlord, who was a psychology or psychiatrist student, she literally finished up her degree while I was there. And I basically, by the end of it, by the time I left, I felt like her thesis. I felt like her science project, because not only did she take advantage of the fact that I was extremely kind and wanted to help her. It was apparently her first time like really renting out, so I'm helping her build her house up. I'm looking for other tenants. I'm doing all of the things that she doesn't want to do. And like what started like the spiral of me financially not getting into, and none of this is her fault. It's my fault, because first I told her too much about me and about my plans. Then, because she was saying, based off of what I told her, about the too much that I told her, she was telling me that she was on the same page and that we could be friends and we could build this together. She could be a part of the team. I'm treating her like a friend when she's my landlord, first and foremost. So I'm doing things for her that I would do for a friend that I shouldn't have been doing because she was my landlord, first and foremost. So what started everything is she had the most basic internet. I had a work from home job that requires me to have a good amount of internet. And internet was included in my rent. So really, she was supposed to be upgrading it. But I literally spent my entire savings upgrading her internet, getting new equipment, all of that, only for it to not be enough and me let her know. And she's like, oh, well, I can't afford it. She could afford it. She just didn't want to do it. She was cheap. And basically, so I lost that job. I was able to get another job, but I broke up with my boyfriend. Turned out that he was a little psycho, and he started stalking me. And I literally couldn't go to work. Like, I was every other time I would be going to work, he would be like standing in the aisles, like watching and waiting for me to either clock in or clock out. He would be sitting in the parking lot. I was literally losing my mind. And I didn't tell anybody except her. She was the first to know, and I had to tell her because I had to let her know I couldn't stay at the job that I now had because my ex is stalking me. She said, it's cool, it's fine, we'll work it out. You just look for something else, we'll be fine. When I was only $100, when I only owed her $100, and like the not last summer, 2 summers ago, I was like, look, I have some people back home in the tri-state that say I can sleep on their couch, and I know that where I'm at right now, I can scrounge together something in order to be able to get out there, and then I'll just send you the $100 when I can send you the $100. No, you're good. So me, I don't know if it's the neural spiciness. I don't know if it's the neural spiciness, but I'm very much like I'm very honest. So I gave all the details. I'm like, anytime that I was applying for something, she knew. Anytime I didn't get the job, she knew. Anytime I was able to like get on a set right quick and make a couple, like $100 or something, whatever I didn't spend on food, she got it. And meanwhile, I am cleaning her house, assembling her furniture, taking care of, I'm basically managing the house because she's never there. She was literally never there. So between me doing all of that for her and everything, and I'm like, this is consistently for months. I had quit my job in September because my ex was stalking me, and it wasn't until December when she started having friends come over that I realized, oh, she's made me a villain to everyone around her. Like, I'm taking advantage. Like, I haven't been honest. Like, I'm just expecting to be here. Like, I'm not making every effort possible. And by then, the window I had to go back to the tri-state was gone. I was trying to figure out a new way to make a couple $100, and I couldn't get a warehouse job. But that was like the number one thing that would have helped me to quickly get out of the hole that I was in. And so December, her friend, she's going on vacation. Thanksgiving, Christmas, she's going on vacation. Meanwhile, and she's also using her family. Like, I don't know if they know, but like, she still made it seem like we were friends, and like she was going to work with me best she could and be honest with me to make things work. And she would have me come over her family's house to eat and stuff when she knew that I wasn't really being able to pay for food. Oh, you can, I'm not really here, I really eat out like that, you can use whatever's in the house, just whenever you get a chance, just replace what you can. And like, all, like, people say stuff, but they don't mean what they're saying. That's what I'm realizing. They say it because they want to portray themselves in a certain way. And then when it comes to actually being that person that they've now like given you the impression of, it's crickets. They don't actually know how to be the person it is that they've set you up to believe that they are. So like, around the holidays, that's when it started to click, because it was around Christmas. I had already been cleaning like all of the main areas, especially the kitchen, deep cleaning it for a minute. But that time I deep cleaned it. I realized, like, there's 2 other people living in this house. Ain't nobody else doing no deep cleans on the fridge. Ain't nobody else doing no deep cleans in the kitchen no more. Like, and if at all, like, so it was like sometime around like right after Christmas where it really clicked, because she came back from vacation and then she had friends over, and it went from 1 or 2 friends to now like 4 or 5 people. I'm waking up to people talking about what's going on with me, but they're talking about it like I haven't been honest with this woman with every move that I made. I haven't been honest with her about what it is that I can do. I haven't been honest with what my position was. I haven't been honest with her about my ability to leave. I haven't been honest with her, and I haven't been helpful too. They always also talking about me like, oh yeah, she's not doing nothing around the house. I was doing everything. If there was contractors coming over, if the city of East Point was coming over, I was literally the one answering the phones. I was answering the door. I was taking down the information. I was making sure that if outside of finances, I was literally running that house. I was literally running that house like it was my own, minus me paying for it. So and that's my fault. At the end of the day, it's my fault, because CPTSD, the trauma and everything, being a people pleaser, that was a trained thing. That's something that I didn't realize I had to work on. My people pleasing, it's a form of manipulation. It's a form of, oh, I don't want people to hate me. I want people to love me. I want people to hug me. And, because I never had that. I've always been the one in the family that kept everything together, that was the mediator, that took the blame for stuff that I didn't do, that was the scapegoat, that was, so, and that was within my house, and then just in my whole entire family, period. I didn't realize that me overextending myself, me doing all of this excessive stuff, was to get a result that I was never going to get. I was never going to get people to actually appreciate me. People didn't start appreciating me until recently. Until I'm now 6 months into me living outside. I ain't really been I always text everybody. I'm the one that keeps group chats going and checks up on everybody and makes sure everybody's good and sends a card when I can and calls on birthdays and calls on holidays. And once I stopped doing that, I ain't really been hearing from nobody. It's less than a handful of people that I can say for a fact that I've heard from since these last 6 months. And that's, again, my fault. I have overextended myself to the point where I made myself so valuable that I didn't give people the space to find their own value. I did so many things for all the people around me that I didn't give them the space to do the healing and the growth and to realize their part in whatever toxic situation or the relationships that I had with all of these people. But that's why I'm not really down for a therapist, because by the time I left that house, I literally I have finally found a job teaching in the school district around Christmas. So from the end of November, it was actually just before Thanksgiving. So I started teaching in the school district, the Atlanta Public School District, APS, right before Thanksgiving. So from Thanksgiving until May of last year, I was teaching. And I don't drive. I take the bus, I take the train. By the time I left that house, it was a regular occurrence for random people on the train, groups, not one person, one or two people. I'm talking the whole entire train car. I'm talking the whole entire bus on my way back to that house. Get a job. What's wrong with you? Yelling at me. You should be ashamed of yourself. And it was I want to say a month before I left, and I was actually in a position to financially now leave again, because again, all this stuff. And meanwhile, wow, this whole entire year is happening from September till June of last year. I was being stalked by my ex. I was being stalked by my ex. And then I had a falling out with somebody that I thought was a friend that I realized wasn't a friend. And their family is affiliated with people. So I was being stalked by them too. So I had one person stalking me from September to January, February. It went from one person to now a group two separate groups of people, the one, the ex, and then the ex friend, and whoever people they had. And I didn't acknowledge it. I didn't yell at anybody. I just let people do what they did. And for the most part, I stayed quiet. I blasted my music, and I kept my head down, and I did what I had to do to get through each day so that I wouldn't end up in jail or the asylum. Because that's what it felt like everybody was trying to make happen, was trying to get me to do something to go to jail, or to go to one of the jails, to go to a physical, actual jail, or to go back to the psychiatric hospital and not only stay one night, but stay there indefinitely. That's very much the energy that I was getting. So yeah, so January, February, ex-friend and their posse of people start stalking me. And then by the time I get to May, June, April, May, June, I was being heckled on the bus, on the train, when I'm physically going to these schools. And I was working with a company that had me all over the district. So I'm dealing with kids who are dealing with the fallout of their parents being so focused on making me feel like crap that they're not taking the time they need to spend time with their kids, to get to know their kids, to help their kids learn how to read, to understand what exactly their child needs. And I'm dealing in the classroom with their kids having to emotionally process the things that I'm emotionally processing as an adult about the fellow human beings that are around us, that are supposed to be the bigger adults, that are supposed to be the adults that, y'all like saying y'all so grown and y'all been doing this, but all you do is go to a 9-to-5, bro. Tell me what that 9-to-5 has done for you. Because it's barely paying your bills. You know how I know? Because every 9-to-5 that I've ever had has barely paid my bills. So, yeah. This process, me being out here, it's allowed me the time to realize, yeah, these people may have done all this stuff, and they may have been a major part in the trauma that has been inflicted on me, but at the end of the day, it's my responsibility. It may be their fault why those things were done to me and why I have this trauma, but it's now my responsibility moving forward to work on that, to understand what was my part in it. And my part in all of this is that I did too much for people. That was literally my problem. I don't need a therapist to tell me, oh, you just showed up for people in ways and too many ways that they would never show up for you in one way. You showed up for people in multiple ways, emotionally, physically, you cooking for people, you checking up on them, you're checking up on their mental health, you're encouraging them, you're physically doing what you do for work, that you're trying to build a career out of for free, for people that literally charge you for their work, that will literally charge you for the products in which you help them build the company in order for them to sell those products. And I don't need a therapist to tell me that. And after the overnight stay at Grady Hospital, and the psychiatrist, after me explaining that I have all this knowledge about why this doesn't make sense, why the way that the world works right now doesn't make sense, and why it's impacting my mental health the way that it is, and my understanding of that, and her response to be, oh, you need to be medicated. And then me living with somebody who's supposed to be in the mental health care, they're going into that industry, and instead of helping, instead of using what I told them to give me solutions, to give me, and being older too, I'm looking up to you as not just a friend, but as a potential older sister. And the response is to use everything that I told you, to use everything that I think that I will have to process about, because I was learning about autism and ADHD and ADD and all of the neurospice, the neurospicy spectrum, and what areas in which those certain things would apply to me at this house. And I'm discussing it with this person, and they use all of that to their advantage to paint a picture to not just their family and friends, but to a whole entire city. So by the time that I left for a brief, for 6 months last June, I was mentally, I had checked. I wasn't even on this planet. I was checked out. I was literally on autopilot, just getting stuff done. And over the summer, I had to also address the fact that there were more people that I had to realize that were secretly in competition with me, were jealous of me. I don't know why, I don't know how, that were not being honest with themselves, not holding themselves accountable, that were looking for me to become their scapegoat. And once I peeped that, I was like, I'm not doing this. Like, I'm literally, and I told them that when I got there too. Like, that's the thing that hurts me so bad, is like, some of these people, I've known these people for a decade, decade and change. And for me to come in, first of all, for these people to beg me to come back to the tri-state, oh, we got you, we got your back, like, we got you, girl, whatever you need to fall apart, we got you. And for me to get there, and I'm not allowed to fall apart, I'm not allowed to vent, I'm not allowed to, like, I'm doing these things, I'm venting, but I'm real, like, by the end of the first day that I was there, I very quickly realized, I was like, oh, this is gonna be the same thing. But this is gonna hurt more, because these are people that I've known for a very long time, that I was calling friend, that I was calling family. Like, some of these people I had got support, like, you my sister. We're like, I got you. My plans for the future, you in that. I'm gonna take care of you. And that's why I know for a fact that all of this is a spiritual experience, because I know what it is that I have in me to produce and to give to this world, to provide spaces, not just one space, but multiple spaces across the whole entire planet, where people can finally be and not just do. And the Creator allowed me to go through these last few years, all of this psychological warfare, this spiritual warfare, this physical warfare, for me to understand that I need to be way more mindful about the people that I am calling friend, the people I'm calling family, and the people that I'm saying that I want to bring along with me. Because if you are on a spiritual journey, if you know for a fact your journey is spiritual, what you have to bring to this earth is going to provide a spiritual comfort, is going to be for the kingdom of the Creator, of the source of creation, to balance this imbalanced world out. You cannot afford for your feelings, for the people that you think are close to you, to override your responsibility to protect your gifts. And that's what I have learned, is I can't bring everybody with me. At this point, there is not even a handful of people that I can bring with me. There are a few people that might be able to meet me later down the line if they do the work, that I know for a fact that, oh, once I start coming up in the ranks, I might be able to do this, I might be able to do that, I'm still gonna keep my word in the long run. But I can't allow for these few people that have played on my kindness, played on my empathy, my ability to understand where people are coming from and what their life is like, and wanting to be of help in any way that I can. I cannot allow those few people to ruin it for the entire world. And this is not ego, this is not cockiness, this is literally, I've been sat down so many times spiritually in the last couple of years, but especially this past year and a half, these past 18 months, where the Creator basically, I had to go through spiritual whoopings. Like, you need to get it together. You are allowing these few people to hold up the blessing that I have put into you for this entire world. You are the person, you are the spirit, you are the mind, you are the heart that I have given the task to get these specific things done for my plan. And when you are truly connected to source, when you truly put the Creator and your relationship with the Creator above everything else on this planet, that is, you have to accept that. You have to walk with that knowing, and you have to act with that knowing. It's not ego. It's not, oh, I'm being malicious, I'm being vengeful. I'm not that type of, I don't have time for those games. The way that karma is set up, other people that have done me wrong, their karma may feel worse and last longer, but my karma is swift. Okay? I can't I can't drink no more. I can't eat meat no more. Like, I literally get sick almost immediately. That's where I'm at in my spiritual journey, where like I don't have the privilege of getting away with anything. I don't have the privilege of waiting for my whooping to come later. My whooping is coming immediately in the spirit realm. If I do anything, if I wish harm on somebody, if I try to do a return to sender. And like, it pains me and it brings great heartbreak sometimes to not be able to go to a church, to go to a preacher, and to get guidance. But it also brings me great relief, because I realize that I'm also going to be part of the people, or I already am a part of the people that are truly connecting with source and connecting to our original ways of connecting to source. The ways that have been demonized with every because Christianity and white people, they were the last of the colonizers. They were the most recent colonizers, okay? Okay? Some of these other religions that came before them, especially these Abrahamic ones, ask yourself, who colonized who? Who brought that religion into our circles, into our communities, into our homes? Okay? And like I said, I'm studying to become an anthropologist. I'm studying culture. I'm studying religion. I'm studying everything that makes a group of people a group of people. How did that group of people get to this point? I don't know about y'all, but I know for a fact that ain't nobody in Africa, no indigenous group was Muslim or Jewish or Christian or Buddhist. Or, you know, like, if you do the research and you look at the wars and you look at who won the wars, okay? Critical thinking, y'all. Critical thinking. Cite your sources, double check your sources, and critical thinking. Because, like, yeah. So, like, that's why, like, basically overall, the spirituality of it all. That's why I'm not pressed. I'm not pressed to have people diagnose me, because those are Western, those are colonized definitions. Those are colonized words to weaponize what they have already proven, what they have already source checked. They didn't even need to prove it. They knew it because they took it away from us. They took our culture away from us. They took our religions away from us. They took our practices away from us. They took our traditions away from us, as Black people especially. But like, psychology wise, I understand. Yes, there is. I'm not saying don't. If you need a psychologist, you need a psychologist. This is for me. I am still looking for a psychologist, but at this point in time, I'm not pressed, because I understand that it's just another system in place to set people up to look a certain way. I have had opportunities to see the documents in which the United States government has done studies to prove that all of these disabilities, these mental disabilities, are actually spiritual acuity. It's actually people being tapped into more than one realm, more than one dimension, more than one timeline, being able to commune with spirits. And the difference between those that are like me and are, yeah, we have days where we definitely look crazy, but for the most part, we regular schmegular degular. It's because we have accepted the truth, the reality. We understand that how we've been brought up, what we've been made to believe about these things, about these gifts, is false. It is an interpretation to get folks to not pay attention to the reality, okay? And the ones that have lost their minds, that are so deep in addiction that they can't see their way out, those are usually the people that are still holding on to how we've been raised, to this world in the way that it's been presented to us, instead of figuring out, working through their shadows. Like, and that's the other thing, you don't need a therapist to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, what was my hand in all of this? What did I do in the past? What have I done up until this point that has brought me and kept me in this place? And what can I do moving forward in order to not repeat this pattern? Because that's the first thing. You cannot go straight into the spiritual realm and think that it's all going to be gung-ho. No, you have to work on yourself. You have to work on your faults. You have to work on what you haven't been holding yourself accountable for before you get to a place where you're not going crazy with interacting with the spirit realm. And I don't know what to call what my spirituality is. I just call it spirituality because it's literally just me meditating, listening, and really just meditating and listening and listening to what I'm being told from the other side. Listening to the signs, seeing the signs, being not just brushing things off as, oh, that's just a coincidence. No, it's not just a coincidence. Just like I know it's not a coincidence that I've been heckled publicly on public transportation and in the public areas multiple times over the last year and a half. It's not a coincidence. And police officers stopping me and saying that they don't know me and saying that I'm a whole nother person when I know for a fact they know my face and we've been seeing each other for months and they know that I know that they know that I know who they are and who they know who I am. Like, that's not a coincidence. Just like I know like all this physical realm stuff is not a coincidence, I also know it's not a coincidence when I see certain numbers back to back. I'm getting a message. It's my higher self, it's my spirit trying to communicate with this physical body, this physical mind, and let me know what's the next step. Or let me know you messed up here. Or let me know you need to take a sit down. And then the other thing about being out here and this being spiritual is, like, I'm a black woman. I'm a black woman. I'm 28 years old. I don't have any kids. I don't have a spouse or a boyfriend or nothing like that. So one of the most important things that I asked of the other side and of myself when I was surrendering to this process, this part of the process of my life, was if there was one thing that my ancestors, the ancestors that slaved all day, that were breeding, they were breeding mares, they were classified as animals to be bred, black women. They were classified as animals to be bred at one point and to have their kids taken from them. What is the one thing that they would wish, that they would pray for every single day to have after going through all of that? And my conclusion was the same: rest. So yeah, I be in here, I be doing my writing, I be doing my research, I still go in, I do my teaching classes. I'm able to find some offices to be able to do that still. But when I need to, I have the ability to rest, to go lay my butt down in my tent and to sleep. Okay? And it's not always sleep. Most of the time, it's literally just laying down and looking at the trees. I literally just be laying and looking at the trees. Like this morning, it started raining a little bit. I had woke up early as ever. Like that, I be waking up early. Sometimes if you know, I be getting woke up between 3 and 5. Those are the spirit hours. There's a lot going on in the world right now. So I know that, like, as a spiritual warrior, it is my responsibility to get up when I'm called at between 3 and 5 a.m. to be up, to do my prayers, to intercede on behalf of the Creator. And so I laid and it started drizzling. I got to experience the drizzle, So like, this is it's real out here. It's spiritual warfare out here. This is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the weak-minded. This is not for those that are that are unwilling to let go of what they think is their reality, how they think the world works. Like, this is not the time for those people. This is the time for the spiritual warriors to stand up. And that's another reason why, like, my name is my name. I know I chose my name. My name is Michael. I have the biblical pronunciation of the Archangel Michael, who means defender of mankind. And that is exactly who I am. That is, as much as I don't like this process, it's not, it's not comfortable. I have days and I have moments where I do like it, and I'm like, wow, this is really my life. Like, I'm really living out every prayer that I have ever asked. Like, and it's unfolding in a way that I could never even imagine. But it's hard. And I know it's hard because I know what it is that I have in me to do. I know what my name means. I know what responsibility I took on before I came to this physical plane. So, yeah, the spirituality of it all is do what you gotta do. Listen to the creator. Listen to the creator within you. We are all connected. And that's the other thing. None of us are separated, bro. We are all connected. If you don't know nothing about mushrooms and trees and all of that, I suggest you look up The Fantastic Life of Fungi on Tubi. Okay? Literally, the entire memory of this planet is underground. Okay? Mushrooms literally store our entire genetic history of all time on this planet. They allow the trees to speak to each other, to connect to each other, to give each other nutrients when they need them. And we all have to become maggot food at some point. Like, so we go back into this ground. We are more connected to this planet and to each other than we think we are, than we have been told that we are, that we have been conditioned to think that we are. And the sooner that we can all stand up together and start to act on that reality, the quicker we can get out of this chaos. Okay? All right. I'm going to leave it here. Y'all have a great day. So long.